Right, we're back. Today we're going to do a simple Fardriver setup. I'm not tuning, I'm not going crazy with it. I'm just going to show you the amps, the phase amps, the throttle control, the RPM, everything to do with that. I'll have the screenshot on the screen so you can go along with it. And we're just going to go, just a nice little simple one, nothing too over technical and everything else when people start going on about everything else. We're just going to get our bike going and we're going to show you how we do it and what we do. So we're going to start now. So I'll show you now. So what we'll do, we'll put that on screen record. So what we do, we go straight in with the Fardriver app. So we click on Fardriver. This one's already connected, so I'm going to disconnect this one anyway and we're going to start again. So we're going to, where are we? We're going to unbound to start with. So we're starting from and disconnect. So we're starting from a clean slate. So I'm going to go from there. So what we do, go to connect. So as you can see, it's Yanku Fu 170. So we click on there and then we connect on there. So we're connected. Right, we're all connect and we're bound. So we're all bound already. We're all connected, ready to go. So first thing we do Autolearn. The reason we do Autolearn is because it gets to know your motor. It will spin your motor. I'll show you now, and then it will know the sort of the power it's got and everything else, and then we can adjust it from there. But that's our basis. That's our foundation. If we're building a house, we put our foundation down. We build from there. So that's our first foundation. What we can do first, we can tell the Fardriver what amps what battery we've got, what hub motor we've got and everything else. So what we do, we go straight in, we go to Open Pro, so we go on there, and then what we're going to put in, mine's already on here, but what we do, we'd go into there, we'd put 72 volts. This is a 3,500 watt rated motor, so we'd go in there. So that's done. So as long as it's got that, it knows what it's doing. So then what we do, we return to simple mode. We go down to graph, then at the bottom you can see it says Autolearn. We're going to click on that, we're going to enter Autolearn. You're going to hear beeps. It's beeping, beeping, beeping. Then what we do, we just pull our throttle fully back. And as you can see, the throttle's, the wheel hub's spinning, but not crazy. It's just going and it's starting to slow down. So it's got to know it. And then what it will do, it will flip it. And it's gone into reverse. So now we're in reverse. So the Fardriver is getting to know your hub motor. It's getting to know the sort of power it's got, everything else. Now it's stopping, and then what we should do, we should hear a beep soon. There we go, there's the beep. So that's what we do, we let go. So we've let go. So now the Fardriver's done. So what we do, we go back into our, where were we? We're going to open our Pro again. So we're back in. So let's start from the beginning. So if you ever do this and then you get a little red square in your graph what says temperature sensor, it's because a lot of the hub motors don't have temperature sensors. Some do, some don't. If you've got a nice QS motor, it's probably got a temperature sensor. So what you do, you go onto your settings, your whatever it come with, or even ask the person you bought it from, ask what your temperature sensor is, and then you click on there and you've got all these other options. This hasn't got it. So what we're going to do, we're going to say none, because otherwise it won't let me. It will just keep coming up error, error, error. So there's no point at that. Pole pairs, that's to do with how many magnets are on each side of your base, I think north and south on your motor. This one's 10, because I know from my supplier. So in there we'd go down to 10, that's done. I think my QS was 16 or maybe more, but yeah, so that's another story. Motor direction, that's basically if you put your wheel the other way and it's going in reverse, you can switch it to go the other way, or if you had to have your motor that way. But we have it on 0 because it's going the correct way, so we'll leave it there. So we just leave it on 0. Rated speed, right, so this says the rated speed of this is 3,716. I got told it was 2,500 off the top of my head, but I think that's the supplier being careful. That's the supplier saying, look, we want you to not go 100% because we don't need to burn it out and come after us for a warranty. So that I'm going to leave with the 3,716 RPM because the controller knows, and I'm happy with that. And me personally, if that blows up, I'm not overly fussed. I'm doing it more. I want to see how fast we can get out of the motors and test them to their limits. I don't want to play about popping to the shops back and forth with it, and that's not my sort of way I'm using it. But for you, that might be the way you do it. So if you want to be careful, set it lower. So you just click on there and you can type in 2,500. So that's your rated speed. Right, we go down. So we've got 72 volts. We've seen that already because that's the battery. We've got 3,500 watts. Yep. So we go down, and this has got max speed at 12,000 RPM. That is crazy high. You're not going to do that. So you could put that a lot lower. Me personally, I'm not going to bother changing that because it's never going to go that high anyway, and it's not going to get to that point. I wouldn't even get to that point anyway. Right, so we go down further. We've got our max line current. Right, this max line current is your continuous amps, your continuous line amps. So I'm going to do a video on this anyway with 3 different batteries, 3 different hub motors, 3 different controllers, and explain what this is, because I have a lot of people email me saying, oh, I want a 72, I want a 5,000, 8,000 watt. I'm like, what battery you got? They go, oh, we've got this battery. And I'm like, but your battery's only got a BMS of 60 amp. Well, that's not going to, there's no point buying all these flashy big motors and everything else if that's all your battery's going to produce. That's the start, that's the foundations again where we build up, then we're going to the controller, then the rated amps on the wheel. But so I'm going to do a whole video about that and have it all in front, a complete guide. But getting back to this, right, let me explain something. So this battery has a continuous amps of 200 amp, continuous line amp. So that's the power it produces. It has a peak of 320 for 10 seconds. So that would last for 10 seconds before it shuts off to protect the battery. But that ain't the whole story. So then we have our controller. This controller I can put up to 200 amp because it's a 72 volt 450 Fardriver. This could go up to 200 and 450 phase amps. So that's fine. So this matches, the battery matches the controller. This hub motor, I was told, was only rated to 50 amps. If you've seen my previous videos, I've had that up to 150. Check the motor, it's not even hot. Once again, the suppliers are always going to want to protect their motor. And once again, I want to push it to the limits. So I will end up taking it out and do 200 on it. If it blows up, it blows up. But for you, if you want to be careful, you can stick to the guides, what's 50. Me personally, what I'm going to show you, I'm going to do 150 amp on this, and I'm going to do 420 phase amps. So, but I'll show you. So, the max line current, I'm going to do 150 amps. This can go up to 200. This can go. The controller can go up to 200. This was only meant to go up to 50 amps, obviously, but I'm going to push it to 150 amps. So that's what. That I reckon that would be fine doing. So I've put it on 150 amps. I'm going to go over now to phase current. Phase current is basically your torque. So your line is your power, your top speed, the power it produces keeps flowing. Your phase amps is your torque. That's the burst of power it's going to give you. So that's off the line your torque you go. So I'm going to put 420 on here because normally what you do times 3 your line. So my line is 150. Technically I could do 450. So it's times 2, so you do it times 3. So we go up on there. So but I'm only going to do it 420. So yeah, so that's done. We have our throttle respawn is on 0. I'm going to keep it what the basically computer said to do, so we'll leave it as that. Boost face amps, that's if you have a boost buttons. I don't have a boost button, so I'm just going to leave that. I don't need to get involved in that. The other bits don't need to get involved in. Weakening, so character we have that on fast. So that's to do with, I believe, obviously the speed you want to put into it if you want eco, middle and fast. So we're going to go fast. Our throttle is 128. You have a few other different options for that, but I'm happy with what the computer told me, so we're going to keep it at that. Release throttle the same, we're going to leave it at 0. My throttle low, this originally when I've done it was on 1.1, and I'm the one who put it on 0.85, and I think the computer just learned from that. So basically, oh, nearly there, I forgot that was on. So basically see how quick that actually responded. So the higher you have it, the slower it takes to respond off the throttle. The lower you have it is almost like it's nearly in idling mode, so it's about to go. On this, if I took this any lower, it wouldn't go anywhere. It just comes up with an error. So I think that's how you play with it. Just keep changing the settings and you keep tweaking to see where you're getting at. So it's 0.85, I'm happy with that. Throttle high, 3.7, that's perfect. Right, we come down to ratios. So we've got 500 RPM. This is what it's going to give fully at all these revs up to this point. Really, this, because I know it's to about 2.5, at 3,000, I would start coming down. I'd start putting 80%, then down to 70%, and going that way, because even overpowering at high speeds, it would actually make it slower, because you've got to that point now, you don't need as much going through it. So I personally would start going down, but I've tested it at this point, so I'm going to leave it at up to 4,000. I start hitting 90, and then I drop rapidly into 51%, and we start going down from there. Right, so there are your ratios of speed. It's depending on, I think, sort of mid drives that have a lot lower RPM because it's higher torque, so that's different, but this is how this one's set up, so that's fine with me. We'll keep going down. Right, ratio in gears. This is the bit you want to know. So if we go back up to the top, we've got 150 max line amps and we've got 420 phase amps. That's our level 3. This is obviously your 3-speed switch. So 3 being your highest, 2 being your middle, 1 being your lowest. So we're on 3 at the minute. When you set your max line amps and your phase amps, this is your high. So this is going to be your main setting. So then when you come down to your gear ratio here, and you have low and middle, low is number 1, middle is number 2. And obviously number 3 is what you've already set in your main settings. So everything plays off your number 3. So what we're going to do, we're going to go middle. So on your middle speed line, that's your middle line amps. Okay, so that's the power what your battery is producing into your controller, what sends into your hub motor. So at the minute we're on 60%, right? So if we, for example, change that for 50%. So our middle of number 3 is on 100%. Our number 2 is on 50%. So 50% of 150 line amps would be 75 amps. Right, so that has the potential to pull 75 amps through on level 2, okay? It's not continuously throwing 75, that's what it can produce. That's the highest level it's going to produce. So that's why it's on level 2. So what we're going to do, I personally, because if I'm putting 150 through this and it's only meant to be rated 50, probably rated 100, I don't want to be doing 150 the whole time. It's or trying to peak it out, so I will blow it. So what I do on level 2, so we go on level 2 again, so we're on medium. So I'm on 150. I don't mind level 2 being about 90. I'm quite happy around 90. So if we're on 150, 50% is 75. So I'm happy. I'll put that on 65. We'd go 65% on that. So then if we go on the middle, so we've got middle line, and then we've got middle phase ratio. That's your amps. So we've set it to 420. Yeah, that's your phase amps. We've already set it to 420. So what we want to do, so if we're going about 90 line amps. So if we do that by 3, so we say that's what, 270. Yeah. So if we put that on, but I like to go a bit higher on that. I like the torque. So I'm going to put that on. If we're on 420, so half of that would be 210. What should we go on that? So we'll go similar, so we'll go about 65 on that as well. So we're both on 65 on them, as you can see. So that's our middle. Our low, see, on your low, I like to have this, me personally, very low. Obviously, you're not meant to have a throttle anyway. But if you get someone, I'm not going to say names, want to have a word with you because you're riding your bike where you shouldn't be, and they want to test your power, technically, you shouldn't have a throttle over 5 miles an hour anyway. But if it's not going too fast, I know it won't work, but at least you've got something to play with. I like sticking that really low. I like putting that on. So if I've gone 150, what's 10% of 100 is 15. So I'm saying 30 amps. I'm going to run 30 amps through that. So I'm going to go 20% on that, and then 20% on our phase amps as well. So that's all set. So we've got that. That's done. And I'm going to show you how that all works in a minute. So we go down, we've got middle speed, low speed. That's not a problem. We've got, oh, what I didn't show you on the ratio speed, you got a limiter. So even though it said 12,000 RPM was my rated motor, it's 3,500 limited. I'm happy with that. That's why when you get down to, it's on 100% on 3.5 anyway, the rest ain't really going to matter. You can put it higher, but it's just mucking about with it when you use it. Bit of tuning, see how you get on. We go down even more. This is all to do with your regen and everything else. I'm not going to even get into that in a minute because this is just a simple guide. This ain't a tuning guide. Go down. The functions, this is to do with all, this is to do when you have it on carts and everything else. You've got all different like boost times. We've not got a boost on it anyway. That's like the max it's going to give you at the top level and everything else. And if you've got all like other bits connected to it and everything else. So we're going to leave that for a minute. Display, we're going to go further down. Once again, I'm happy with the computer told me. I've already took this for a ride at that speed and I was happy with it. I don't need to get into that at the moment. That's to do, obviously, display. It's all set up perfect for that. It was working on there. I haven't got a problem with that. Your protect, right. So you've got over voltage protect, what's on 90, and you've got your low voltage protect, right. Your low voltage protect is set at 63 on here. I think it's to do with your battery. I'd have to go into my BMS and have a look at that, but when you get your battery, if it's got BMS, you can go in there, it'll tell you one like this would protect itself anyway, but you can go into your settings and you can see what they recommend to be your low protect, and you can put that in. Same with your over voltage protector, you can put that in, so that's all set up. Keep going down. The rest is all, when you get to this point, unless you're over, like the protect stuff, all there, your speed alarms, everything else, I ain't got none of that. I ain't going to be bothered with that. That's the basic setup for me, is the amps, the throttle, getting everything working. It's not a full-on tune, so we're happy with that. If we're happy with all that, we go to save, click save, you hear a bleep. So that's all saved in your settings. We return to simple mode. We go down, and as you can see, I know it says 210%, but I don't know why it just comes up with that. That's for your high. As you can see, I'm set for 65. It's brought me down to 61% on middle speed. So if I change that back up to 65, yep, happy with that. And the bottom's on 17% and 20%. I'm happy with that. My high's on all 100%. I'm happy with that. So that's all nicely set. Everything's going. So I'll show you the difference. Right, so we're all set there. So if we click it into speed 1, this is, remember, I've only got 20% running through this, so I've got next to no power. As you see, it says 83 miles an hour. Obviously it's not. Once you're on it, I reckon that wouldn't even get me above about 10 miles an hour, to be totally honest. So as you can see, it didn't let me pull anything more through that. So that's where we wanted it, and that's where we're happy. We're going to click up to level 2. This one had 65% of 150. So if you've done quick maths. Right, so on this one we've got level 2, we've got 65%. So we're looking at about 97 amps going through that off the top of my head. So this is level 2. We're going to have a look at that. As you can see, as you saw, that went over to 110. That's actually 210. It's just the display don't go above 200. So you've seen from level 1 to level 2, the difference in power is producing through. So I've got that. So that's running about 97 line amps and probably 300 odd phase amps. So that's level 2. Then we go level 3. Obviously this is 150. So now on level 3, we're playing the full whack. So if we go into our settings, we open our Pro. As you can see, we're running 150 amps. And 420 phase amps, and this on level 3 is the full whack. And as you saw, that one got over to 250. So on level 2 we went up to 210, level 3 we went up to 250. Obviously it's not doing them speeds, but it's just showing you because there's no weight on it, and that's the power it's pulling in. So that's my simple guide to the Fardriver. It is simple. The main things you want to look at, you put in your voltage. So for me it's 72 volts. Your rated motor, 3,500 watts. And then we go down to our, just to remember, we go to our simple mode. We go over to the graft. We go down to Autolearn. Click on Autolearn. We pull the throttle back. It does its business. It sets up all the little bits you don't want to muck about with unless you really want to get into tuning. And then we go back. We want to look at our throttle. We keep testing our throttle because you want the response on the throttle. So we keep going a bit lower until either the wheel moves on its own and you don't want it to do that, or it gives you an error message. So we do that. And then we muck about with our ratios, like I said, what speed you want the RPM. And then we do our gearing, so we do to our speed switch what sort of speeds we want and we want to play with. I'd always put the max you can on number 3, because if you want to have that quick boost, and you don't, these are strong motors, you're not going to kill it. If you want to have that good 20 seconds of pure boost, we leave it on that. On our second level, I would go to the high point of not killing it, but we want that always at our hands. And then the low point, I like to put a really stupid low one, so I can, if I find someone who's not knowing what they're doing, I get in that position, I can sort of play dumb, if you know what I mean. So yeah, so that's been the Fardriver setup. Bloody spider on me then. Like I said, the next video, I'll tell you a few videos actually. So we've got I'm going to do 3 hub motors, 3 controllers, 3 batteries, and explain the amps, the BMS, the controllers, because like I said, I'm getting people messaging me saying, oh, I've got a 60 BMS 72 volt battery, I want an 8,000 watt motor because it's a 72 volt, and it's a bit like, but they can go up to like 300 line amps. You got 60 amp, you might as well just put a bloody 3,000 watt on it. So I'm going to explain in the video full graphs of what it means. Like the battery is our foundation, the controller is our computer, and that would be telling the hub motor. Then our hub motor, we've got to make sure we've got, the cheaper ones are not as well built, so they've got a lower rated amp, and then obviously the better ones are a bit higher. So we're just going to go through all that and get that sorted. In a few weeks I will have my 72 volt 5,000 watt hub motor for my fat wheel bike. We're going to strip that, spray it, put that on. You're going to follow the process. This time I'm going to do a proper build video, so you see every step of the way of how we're going to build it. We'll probably test it with this battery for the minute, because I have ordered another battery, another one of these, but smaller, so it's still big, but it'll fit on the bike. I can strap it down, put a nice bag around it, make it look neat. That won't be it yet, but we can test it with this battery until that turns up. Then we'll do our ride videos. Got a couple of videos coming from Sweden, and then I think we move into the sort of, probably be near to the sort of American videos. When I go out there and I'm going to do a few videos, I'm going to find myself an MX 650 frame, But yeah, so I just want to say thank you to all my subs so far. I'm nearly on 1,000, so if you can subscribe, that'd be brilliant. I've done this all in 3 months, spent a lot of money out, and I just want to keep taking this further. I hope this is all good. I hope everyone's happy. I'm getting more comments. Shout out to Ben, who's put a lot of feedback in. I've had David Walsh. He's been brilliant. He's been talking all for about bikes and everything else. So shout out to him. Recently we had Scooters Only Repair in America. He's come on. He's got a Razor Rambler. He's put a load of feedback in. That's what I like. All put your comments. If you want to comment anything, we can all have a chat. Everyone get involved. Everyone talk. That's a good thing. We're all in the same hobby. We all want to go faster and better and everything else. So I'm happy for any comments, likes. People ask me a lot about my store. It is coming. I just want it to be perfect. I don't want any confusion. I want everything in place. I'm involved with all these suppliers, and I want to make sure their warranty's down to a key. If there's any problems, I want to know that I'm getting that sorted straight away, and my face is on it. I don't want no mucking about. I want everything in place. I'm not rushing it. So I know it seems like I'm delaying it, but I want it perfect. I'm getting the best prices for all of us, basically. I don't want you paying anything more because you're going through me. I'm squeezing it out of them, and I want the best quality. So like I said, that will be coming, but please stick with me. And yeah, thank you for watching, and please subscribe.